We're here at the Tornado Alley podcast. Okay, we have supreme guest today. Okay, supreme guest today. Okay, Mr. Viktor Doria, as always. Yeah, Vagner Rocha and Gesias Cavalcante today here with us. Today we're gonna be talking about something very interesting that even happened this week that I believe that's really important for us to talk about, and it's about the Nutella attitude that a lot of people have been having in jiu-jitsu, especially coming from such a supreme martial art that has created MMA and all of that. And sometimes nowadays, because of sport of jiu-jitsu, because of the professionalization of jiu-jitsu, like sometimes a lot of people are losing its roots. So it's amazing to have all of these guys here on the table, because again, Viktor had the opportunity of being in Rio de Janeiro, being a part of a Carson Gracie school back in the days when jiu-jitsu was fire in Rio and everything was actually coming up. Gesias is a legend of the sport, man, fought back in Japan on the prime moments of jiu-jitsu, and you could see all of that happening before his eyes. Me and Vagner, we're in US, when we have our academies here, we have, we are part of the environment. I believe the evolution of what the sport has become, but still we have the old school mentality of jiu-jitsu, So again, I would like to share our ideas, of the perspective jiu-jitsu has been having lately.
What's good? What's good? I start off. I don't believe it's just in jiu-jitsu. I believe it's in life.
Yeah.
Everybody has a part in all this. The world has become softer day by day by the rules of the things that we set. The way we present, the environments. For example, I remember being a kid and somebody, talk to you wrong and disrespect you in a way, you wouldn't go home and cry to your parents about it. You would get in a fight in the street, and that doesn't exist today. Today if somebody makes fun of you and you go home and cry to your parents, they call the school and they talk about bullying. I think that's, it's not just jiu-jitsu, it's all across the board, and the world has gotten softer, and it's sad because, you need examples, you need tougher people, and these little things, they grow into other bigger things, and this is carried into jiu-jitsu, and I believe that there's no room for this in martial arts,
Let me play the devil's advocate here. So isn't jiu-jitsu or martial arts isn't it a reflex of what the kind of world that we're living today? So the world became softer, as you said, and thus the martial arts or artists or practitioners became softer as well.
Agreed.
Isn't it a reflex?
Yeah, it's a total reflection, and it's exactly what I'm saying. And
yeah.
You just basically painted the picture for the world. It's the reflection of people, trying to downplay the art, downplay the what you're supposed to be doing, what you're not supposed to be doing. I teach my kids at home, if somebody at school bullies you, stand up for yourself, speak up. Because when you go and you become a professional one day and you're an attorney or a doctor and somebody disrespects you, you're not going to go make a file complaint. You're going to tell the person how you feel, how you really feel.
Right.
Are you going to speak up for yourself and stand your ground? Even if you have to, come to terms and fight someone, which is not what I'm telling you to do, but I'm telling you to learn how to speak up. And people need to know that you need to speak up for yourself to be better, to feel better.
Just to stand for yourself, to be able to have confidence in yourself, to resolve and solve problems. I see that a lot of the kids, man, one of these days, I had the opportunity of having a school bringing some kids here, some high school kids to, just to try it out. Mm-hmm. It was right before summer, so the school brought the kids in, just to visit and, so to share with them a different vision of life. Man, I had about 30 kids from high school coming in. I was very impressed and sorry in a certain way, because unfortunately the kids today, because of social media, because of the distractions that they have nowadays, and because of the education, the way the education has been turned on, a lot of the kids, man, they don't know how to relate. They don't know how to talk to you looking in the eyes. Whenever they were playing the sport, I was showing some basic moves to them. Some of them don't even know how to play. They don't know how to move. They don't know how to act. And this is
Introverts.
Introverts.
Even shaking hands.
Even
like,
to shake hands.
Even shake hands, like because you said eye contact, but like a shaking hand, eye contact. Sometimes they just.
It's
They don't know how to socialize.
Yeah, that's.
They know how to socialize. And again, because of I believe that like the world has been today so fast, right? Back in the days, the only distraction everyone would have would be the TV. So like everybody would get home and like you couldn't work at home because you had an office, most of people at least. So would get home, you have to enjoy your family and sometimes watch TV. That would be the distraction you have back in our times, right? Nowadays, all the parents they can work out of their home. They can work out of their hands. Actually, everybody has been so much more busy, so that sometimes the parents don't have time for their kids anymore. So what they do, they have to work and they want to put time into their lives. You know what I mean? And then instead of giving the time and educating their kids on how they should be doing and proceeding, they give an iPad to their hands. Or they, you know what I mean? So like again, like that kid just becomes an introvert, doesn't know how to play out, because of course, in order the kid to go out of home, the parents have to take them out and spend time with them. Those kids are not doing that anymore. So they don't know how to play sports, they don't know how to climb a tree, to jump a wall, or even to fight. They don't know how to defend themselves. You know what I mean? One of the things that I say, man, like don't get me wrong, but I don't think bullying is a bad thing. If it wasn't because of bullying, I wouldn't be who I am today. Whenever I was a kid, I used to be a really messy kid, and I got my ass kicked so many times just because I used to bully people, like, bah, and then he would bully me, kick my ass, and then every time I would cry to my dad, he would look at me and say, hey, you get beat outside, if you come here, you're gonna get beat again. Boom! Hit me up, I was like, geez.
Stand up for
you know what I mean? I gotta learn how to fight. So then I started doing martial arts in order to be able to stand for myself. But the problem is, like, the kids nowadays are treated like poor me, Oh, daddy, come crying. Oh, yeah, you kill. This is abusive. So instead of teaching kids how to stand for themselves and actually to be strong, everything is hard. Everything is impossible for you to deal with. And then, we build a weak society.
Yeah, for sure. Like, my mom used to tell me, like, my parents, as soon as you cross the door, it's on you. Whatever happens, whatever you get into outside, it's on you. I believe in my education. I believe what I teach you inside the house. So when you cross the door, it's up on you. And that gave me a lot of responsibility. Like, I have a lot of freedom. I always play on the street. I always go out and do all this stuff, but they never protect me. They never try to. Oh, you're not gonna do this because it's gonna be dangerous. You're not gonna. They always be like. They never protect me. They're like, okay, go. But remember, it's on you. I remember all the time I get in a fight, like you said, if you get in a fight, get beat up, or get home crying, bro, like, what was like,
double.
What are you doing? Like, go out. Like, I don't care. They're gonna walk me out. And they're like, okay, through the door, go resolve yourself. It's on you. I told you this before. So all the time I got in a fight, I never start a fight. I trained as I see early age, like I started 4 years old in judo, so I always had the confidence to fight, to be okay, whatever. If I have to fight on the street, it's fine. But I never really start a fight on the street. But I never ran. I never step out. Always like I stand to myself, and that's what we're talking about. Those days, kids they come and go home, and even like I feel like, especially here in America, I feel like sometimes the kids bully the parents.
Oh, yeah.
Some kids, they yell, they point, you're not protecting me, you don't do this. It's crazy. That's why martial arts, jiu-jitsu, what we're talking about, you still have to keep the roots to get a better society, to develop better people.
Let me try to bring that to our jiu-jitsu world. And I see that our society is a society that it transformed throughout the time. And it's a society that grants 4th and 5th place trophies. So that sucks big time. It's a society, and that's the reflection within the Jiu-Jitsu Academy. It happens when you have, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus right now, but yellow belts with black stripes. And this with that, because you feel like you're obligated to promote and promote and promote because society is doing it. So you got a 5th place, that's beautiful. Here's a trophy for you. There's no 5th place trophies. There shouldn't be. You know, Jiu-jitsu, and I see the way I was raised in Jiu-jitsu when I started in 1993 is it helped me build a lot of confidence. Like Jiu-jitsu helps building confidence. Jiu-jitsu, I didn't have any problems with that before. I used to play water polo and I was pretty good at it. And actually, I was always like, I have a very good level of self-confidence, so I never had this kind of problem. But I saw a lot of shy people coming into Jiu-jitsu and becoming great great people, different. Like the shyness is out, the introversion is out. These guys are putting it out. They're talking about themselves. They're actually presenting themselves in a better way just by standing, not even talking. Just their image, their self-image changes. And I see that shift on society because everything now is, oh, let's recognize the guy's value. What value? 5th place? No value. Go train. You know, there should be a prize for that. And this is what I see, like when we see a society that is like patting their children and, oh no, this and that, like we're talking right now, it's because the society has shifted completely and people are trying to, like everybody's saying, oh, you have to take care of your children, you have to be careful for them not to be like, or otherwise they're gonna go to drugs and this and that. There was no, my father never pet me. He was never too nice to me. He was a great father, but I got what I deserved. Every time I got something from my dad, I deserved 100% of that. And I didn't become a problem child because of that. So I see that the Jiu-Jitsu academies, the Jiu-Jitsu professors, the masters here, we should go against this stream, this current of promoting too much and giving the kids everything they're given in the schools or at home. Oh, you ate all your lunch? Oh, let me give you something. No, you ate all your lunch. It's good. You're gonna keep standing. Otherwise, you're gonna die if you don't eat. So just make sure everybody's on the same page as far as, okay, this is necessary. This is not something that you're gonna be granted a prize for doing.
Yeah, the only problem that we run when it gets to that is this: parents don't educate their kids the way it's supposed to be.
So they expect you to do it.
They expect not me, but they expect the schools to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even though when you try to do it, they still overprotecting their kids. So then it's kind of hard for you to deal with. You know what I mean? Because parents nowadays they don't want to do the job of a parent. If, like I said, everything is instant gratification. So whenever you were a kid and you start crying, my dad would slap on my head. It's like, shut up. Otherwise you're gonna get your ass
Swallow.
kicked. You know what I mean?
You know what
Otherwise you're gonna get your ass kicked. And that's it. You know, he would look at me, I would be like, oh, the look of my dad, man. My dad would look at me, I'll look at him, I was like, okay, I better quiet this.
You know what I do with the kids
You know what I
nowadays?
mean?
My gym, they cry, I pat them on the back and say, go get some of that magical water at the water fountain and come right back. And I don't let them go to their parents. Do not run to your parents. You run to your parents, you're gonna hang out after class and you're gonna cry even more, I promise you. You're gonna do so much exercise, you're gonna hate that you even got off my mat. Going off, my kids are, I'm treating my kids, all the kids in my gym differently. And you know what? Sometimes I feel like I don't have more room. I need room to grow because parents, their kids are more scared of me than they are of their parents. And that's ridiculous. Yeah. You know, it doesn't even make sense to me because number one person I feared was my dad. Just like you were saying, like my dad would look at me, I'd be like, oh man, he's gonna kill me. Up. Like, yeah, I better shut up. Like, you know, and my kids, I know for a fact they feel like that because I look at them, I'm like, hey, and they're like, alrighty, I got them in check, you know, and that's what you're supposed to do as a parent. Parents don't do that. They expect the schools to raise their kids. They expect the iPad to raise their kids. They expect the martial arts instructor to raise their kids. They expect everybody, you know. Yesterday I had a kid come try out a class from another school. Dad goes, man, he's the best kid in his school. You know, he's tough, he does this. I'm like, awesome, cool. The kid did 3 rolls in my school. He literally got up before my class ended and ran out the door to his parents' car. And his dad followed him. And then his dad called me later to tell me, like, oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why would you let your kid do that to you? You know what I mean? Like, that's just disrespectful. Like, that kid should not be able to do that. Like, but why is that? The kid probably trains in a school where they don't roll that hard. My kids roll. Every single one of my kids, all my children that train in my school roll like me. And if you know what I roll like, you know what I'm talking about. They roll hard, they roll gritty, they're tough, their mind is tough, they're physical tough. Jiu-jitsu is the thing that we need in our lives to translate into the world. Again, making tougher minds.
Yeah, but everything
you don't
comes,
need it.
but everything comes on the education of imposing. So for instance, if the kid comes to your school and say, Daddy, I want to train Jiu-jitsu, or you say, son, you're going to train Jiu-jitsu, and your kid does the first class, he's going to get pushed, and then he's going to be, oh my God, that's not what he wants. It's like, that's okay, son.
You don't have
Let's
to
go
do this.
home. No, so like, hey, you're doing this. You're doing this.
Exactly.
If you want or if you don't want. Unfortunately, in life, you have to go through things that you don't want to do it, or you think you don't need to go through it. But in life, there's no way out. When you have to go through something, you have to go through something. I believe that that's the beauty of Jiu-Jitsu. Every day you're gonna come here, especially when you're a white belt, you gonna get smashed.
But is this
Your
in
head's gonna
every
leave.
gym? Is this in every academy?
I don't think so.
What?
There you go.
I don't think so. That's where the
That's what I wanna
Nutella thing
bring-
comes
yeah,
back.
that's
We're
what I
going
wanna
back to the
bring.
Nutella thing.
There you go,
It's
there you
not
go.
every gym that's
There
like
you go.
that. That's what I was saying about this kid. He came in, he's from another school. Dad said he's the best kid. He didn't even go with my best kids. He went with the kids I thought were going to be, his, a challenge for him. And it wasn't a challenge. It was complete slaughter. The kid was trying, but it wasn't like he just didn't have the mindset, because he put one of my kids in a submission, he put him in a triangle, and my kid stacked him, like shoulder to the face, real gritty, mean stack. And after the first stack, the kid was like, this, I don't want to be here no more. Like, why am I rolling with this kid?
Okay, but then let's talk
But that's
about
the
this.
mind.
But that's the mindset that are actually going to bring us to the next step of the conversation. The step of, okay, there is a kid, like the kid came to your school and the dad said the kid was the best kid. He was a competitor, right? Okay, so if I'm a competitor, I'm saying I'm a fighter, right? Like I'm a fighter. If you have a kid
Game.
who is a champion, he's a champion, right?
Okay.
So he's gotta take the fire. One thing is, of course, whenever we come, we get first comers. A kid never played sports before. The kid never have done jiu-jitsu before. Of course, that he doesn't know what kind of environment he's gonna be in. So if the kid for the first day of class, he comes in and someone goes there and hurts the kid or put pressure on the kids, it's normal for the kids to break because they're not used to that and they have to be taught to go through that.
I'm going to give you a good example of that as soon as you're finished.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? So that's one thing. So jiu-jitsu for everyone, right? We have to professionalize jiu-jitsu, like here in the school, we have 3 steps into like fundamentals, you don't even get to roll, and then you go beginners, is like executive jiu-jitsu, and then for the guys who actually want to think competing, they go to advanced class, and there's pro training. There's like rip the head off kind of training. You know what I mean? So there's levels to it.
Agreed.
Okay? The thing is, you're competing this weekend inside of a cage on something called combat jiu-jitsu that you can slap on the face and everything. If I sign to something like that, I'm a professional. I'm a fighter. You know what I mean? And I'm fighting one of the best in the world. I can't expect to go there and for the guy to pat me on the head. You know what I mean? And what happened, and then this is just like for us to shift into
What happened?
you know what I mean? That Vagner went there beautifully, took the guy's back,
Trapped his arms.
and on purpose, tap him out, suffocating him. Did he need to do that? No. But he was showing how much control you can actually have training jiu-jitsu. It's actually the beauty of jiu-jitsu. You know, it shows of you fighting against someone who is just as skilled as you. We didn't get, like, the guy wasn't got off of the street to jump in there. He's a professional. Although you could go out there, trapping him, and just like a snake, suffocating him and
Boa
making him tap.
constrictor.
That was beautiful. And there's a lot of people out there.
I did it on purpose too.
I
told you guys.
No,
I told
you
every single
told
one of you
yeah.
guys. I told
We
all
were
3 of
there.
you guys.
Before the fight,
I
all the
said,
fight on
I'm
his
gonna
corner.
tap him like this.
You know, and like, we're all in his corner and said, I'm gonna tap the guy like this. I'm gonna put this position on the guy. And he did it, and to tell the truth, I was telling him to bully a little bit more the guy before I tap the guy out.
I could have, right, when I had him stretched
Yeah,
out. I was
man,
patting him
I was
like this. Like, I'm
bully
like, I
more,
don't
and
need
he
to do
looked
this
at
to
me,
the
he's
guy.
like, no, I'm okay here. I'm just gonna tap him out, suffocating him. But man, again, the guy's signed to do that. You know what I mean? It's a part of the game. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you signed for. You're a fighter, man. You have to be a part of it. What messed with my mind is seeing people who are actually part of the community. If my grandma saw that, even though my grandma have seen me fighting, all that, so she understands a little bit. But my grandma was like, "Oh son, oh my God, he's gonna kill him. Oh my God." That's okay, because she's my grandma. But now, guys who actually are in the world of jiu-jitsu, the guys who are black belts, guys who actually are part of the community, for them to be, oh my God, this shouldn't be allowed. I can't believe you doing that. Say, man, these guys should be painting their nails, man. I think they're in the wrong sport.
Yeah,
real.
I see that what you did there, and I was
did it
like,
on purpose, Viktor, and you guys know this because I said
know
I was gonna do it.
100%.
I did it on purpose because I knew I was going to generate this kind of energy because I'd already generated the energy when I wrist locked the other guy.
Yeah.
And I saw people talking about it. I was like, man, these guys are
There you
freaking
go.
soft. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this now and let's see what they say then. And I didn't expect to be that big of an energy.
But they're saying because now voices are heard, like you can voice your opinion more often and easier. The keyboard warriors are all out there.
Yes.
They're all typing whatever they want. They're all saying whatever they want to say. And people don't know that your submission at that moment, it was hardly trained. It was trained many, many times.
100
and
times.
even on me, on him. Like, you've been doing that for so long and so many people and tough asses like us here. And we took it and we said, man, yeah, that works. And it definitely worked.
It wasn't an accident.
So it wasn't an accident at all. And I think that whoever got impressed with it and voiced their opinion about how impressed they were, and impressed in a bad way though, because I was impressed, but very positively impressed. I thought it was amazing.
Like,
I wish I was there. I wish I was doing that.
yeah.
Yeah, I wish I was doing that. So what I see is like many people, like they're training jiu-jitsu, they're competitors, they're black belts and this and that. They get like, wow, this is so tough, but also this is not right. This is not cool. This is not the jiu-jitsu that I learned. The jiu-jitsu that I learned is survival jiu-jitsu. I need to do that in order for me to take the guy out, not the guy taking me out.
Anywhere,
so whatever
anywhere,
I have
anytime.
to do, I will do. So that's your wrist lock there and your suffocation thing there. I think it's amazing. It's all part of it.
Anywhere, anyone, anytime.
Yeah,
You have to be ready for
that's how it's supposed to be.
That's what the art is supposed to be like, and
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's why we're having this conversation today. Is that we bring it back all the way back to the society, and then society leading into jiu-jitsu, and then the jiu-jitsu becoming softer because society has become softer. So we tend to follow what we're like you were saying about yellow belts and certain belts. We find that we have to kind of mold ourselves around society. And I was telling you, I had something to tell you. Like, for example, when kids get in my gym, right, and little kids, when I say little kids, I mean 5, 6 years old. When they get mounted by another kid and they can't get out, their first reaction is to do what? Tap, right? I do not let kids leave that position. I do not. If a child is mounted on another child and they tap from not a submission but the position, I do not allow that to happen. I will give them space, I will let them breathe, I will talk to them, and then I will put them right back in that position. I say, you have to leave, you have to escape that.
You still have a chance.
And I guarantee you that 90% of schools will probably go, okay, yeah, you tapped her, restart. No, you shouldn't restart. Because you need to understand that that's fire, that's where you are. You are in the frying pan and you're getting fried and you need to leave that position. You need to understand what you need to do mentally. You need to understand what you need to do physically, and you need to understand what you're going to do on the next step. And that's part of life. What happens to people today is they fall into depressions. Life gets hard. You know how many people you see wealthy, famous, they fall into depressions because they're not sure where their mind is and they're not sure what's happening in their life. And what do? They kill themselves because of things like this. It starts from a younger mindset where your mind is weak. Only a weak-minded person kills himself. You have to be weak.
That's one thing.
Or depression, but like depression is a different thing. But like,
I feel
but
like
again,
it's
like
weak.
I think more or less.
Okay.
But more or less, because there is a disease, and a disease is a disease. Like most
So
of people.
ADHD is a disease too now.
No, it's different.
bully's gonna become a disease in the future too.
No, it's different. Depression, like, no. The only thing though, this is because only if you have someone close to you to know like what depression is. Depression is like, man, this.
Okay, maybe
like,
I'm wrong.
You can't. You
No,
know,
of course.
It's
Maybe I'm wrong.
it's this balance of
of
hormones.
course,
You know,
of course.
it's not that.
I'm talking about something I don't know.
Yeah. You're talking about something you don't know, but there is a huge share of people who they just don't know how to overcome adversity. They're just
That's the word,
creating sort of a bubble, and then whenever they feel like compressed into the wall, they just like, oh my god, they freak out and they don't know how to actually act. You know what I mean? There's one thing that I was talking yesterday with some of our guys, because even like there's levels and levels to everything. You know, and there's a lot of people who actually, when they get like to a certain point of their lives, and then you hit a wall. Every one of us will hit a wall one day. Right. It can be on the sports, it can be on your job, it can be on your life, but one day you're gonna hit a wall. One day you're gonna be like, man, like I have a barrier. This wall is too big, and I don't know how to jump over. You know, if you don't have the mindset, the perfect mindset to actually face it, and to understand that being a champion is not going not on top of a podium. Being successful is not getting the money prize. Being successful is something that you have every single freaking day. It's something that you have as a habit. Being a champion is a habit. You have to have that inside of your soul, inside of your mind. You gotta understand that, man, you're gonna beat to your knees, but you gotta understand that it's okay, and I have to push my limits every single day. But a lot of people don't have that. They're afraid to give their 100% because they don't know if they can do it. So actually, people start losing the battle even before they get to the battle.
Let's
and
get
that happens a lot.
Let's get to the jiu-jitsu scene with that you guys are saying, and I think it's more important that we try to translate it into the mats. The Nutella thing, the softness thing that we see today in competition and translate it into new rules. I would love to hear, even though I'm not interviewing anybody, I would love us to talk about the new rules and the new way of fighting and competing within jiu-jitsu, and what's happening there. How you guys see it?
One thing I see, we're talking about trying to protect everybody, trying to protect the kids, like we were talking about in society.
Yeah, because
now they are doing the same thing with jiu-jitsu.
With the competitions and everything.
You guys know, I came from Luta Livre, that's like a submission grappling from Brazil. Was the best rivalry from jiu-jitsu. That's how
rival's a nice way to say it. We're a freaking creonte.
But that was the way the fight, MMA got popular, because they have a competition. In Luta Livre, especially Copa Budokan, that was the best tournament that we had. Yeah. The only rules that we had was not kill the guy. Yeah. Don't smash him, don't put him on the head. Everything else you're allowed to do. Yeah. You're allowed to do cervical, you're allowed to do heel hooks, whatever kind of submission, And you know how many people die from that?
Zero.
None.
Yeah.
Like jiu-jitsu was talking about those days, because of heel hooks, everybody kind of against it. Now everybody's kind of shifting the perspective now, because a lot of guys are doing this, see how effective it is.
Right.
But before it was just protecting everybody. Oh no, this can hurt, this can happen. But any submission can hurt. If you get the armbar, you can get the armbar, you tap late, you're hurting.
You get into a triangle, you're gonna choke to death if you stay there.
Why jiu-jitsu always try to protect the people? Why they try to protect you so much? Because that has the business part. That's the thing. Everybody now, they have kids that come and train. I understand not everybody want to be a competitor. No, I understand that. Some guys just gonna be there training, but they have to understand, if you're gonna fight, it's a competition. Things like Vagner did, it's perfect.
It's part of the sport.
Yeah, it's perfect part of the sport, and that should be an inspiration for your life. No, not just for training. Sometimes the kid don't want to compete, he don't want to go so hard. It's okay, he can roll, he can, imagine an old guy who just want to do jiu-jitsu for fun. It's fine, he doesn't need to go there and fight and go crazy. But he knows he has the skill to do it, and he knows he has the inspiration. Something you do, okay man, if you're in a hard time, I can do it, I can go tough, I can go harder. And that's why we don't like the Nutella style now.
So different organizations, different rule sets. there are organizations that allow this, and that, like the ADCC. You can do
like
ripping and do
that's my
everything.
favorite in the world. Yes, it's ADCC. You know what I mean? Because that's as real as you can get. You know what I mean? You go out there. You know what I mean? There's a share that's no points that you can just go at it. A second share that's points. You can slam. You can hook. You can do everything. You know, and it's amazing. It's amazing. It's that for me, it's the best. It's the best biggest grappling sport there is. You know what I mean? And again, like I hear what you're saying. I believe that there's levels and levels. That even though there's people who want to compete, but they don't leave out of jiu-jitsu. They want to compete and they want to be a competitor, but they want to protect themselves. Yeah. You know what I mean? But whenever it comes to the black belt division, it's a professional division. Jiu-jitsu, like in judo, for instance, you know what I mean? You don't have competition for every belt.
No.
You have one competition. It's black belt competition. Yeah. You don't get for every belt. It's black belt.
Oh, actually, in judo, you only have white belt and black belt. That's it. The original white belt, black belt.
That's it.
If you're not a black belt, guess what? You're a white belt. That's it.
So what I see is this. So like I believe it's cool what jiu-jitsu does. You know, that's why jiu-jitsu has grown so much, because give the opportunity of everybody to actually grow with the sport, grow with the time you have on the mats, and actually become more and more professional. But for all the guys who are on the top of the food chain, the less rules, the better it is. The problem is we just competed, the Worlds now in Vegas. It was an amazing competition. But every 6 months, a BGF changed the rules. And so the more rules you have, the more complicated it gets. Yeah. Come on, man. Everybody's there, especially in the Worlds Master. Well, I've been doing this for 15 years, 20 years, 25 years. Come on, there's nothing you can throw at me that I'm not going to expect. You know what? If I get top, I know when to top. You know what I mean? I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So you got to come to the principle that, man, you're a black belt. In jiu-jitsu, it's not like a black belt in karate. You're going to be 14 years old. You have to be doing jiu-jitsu for time enough where you know how to stand on the positions. You know what you're doing. You know what I mean? So I believe that that's the thing that should change in jiu-jitsu. I completely agree with protecting the students all the way up, because in the end of the day, there's a huge business environment that supports the sport. But in the other way, man,
I wrote about that the other day. That
who's on the top of the food chain? They're in the top of the food chain,
Eventually, these rules that they set that are protecting the art is eventually going to make the art soft. It's going to make it like karate. Like we look at karate and laugh. We're like, karate, you do karate, yeah. Eventually, jiu-jitsu is going to be looked at like karate, because we look at sambo. I said this in my article. Sambo is the same art. It's a ground submission-oriented art, and it's considered to be better than jiu-jitsu at this point in time. Right now, today, people are looking at sambo going, man, forget sambo guys are tough. They do everything. But they're mentally stronger. These people are from Russia. They're from a different.
I'll tell you, I had the opportunity of going to Russia, to Dagestan. And before I did this in 2013, I went there to do a camp with the boys. So I had a bunch of world champions in sambo, Olympic wrestlers, guys from MMA, you know what I mean? Everybody on a mountain there, you know what I mean? Training. And I'll tell you the truth, man, I train hard. I train super hard. I have a really strong mindset for training. Whenever I got there and I saw the guys training on the first day of camp, I was like, guys, stop everything. You guys are gonna die. You know what I mean? Someone's gonna die here. But the guys don't even know differently. They go at it like 1,000%. And it's beautiful, and it changed my mind again. Because man, they're hungry. They want to win, you know what I mean? And
tell them what happened that year for you.
Oh, that year I went out of there and I won Absolute in ACC. But everything's a mindset. Again, we impose limits to our mind. Yeah. We impose limits to our mind. Again, it's not for everyone. But Jiu-Jitsu can't lose the roots. Jiu-Jitsu can't lose the essence. You know what I mean? We can't become a Nutella, man. We're Raiz all the way. It has to be the roots of Jiu-Jitsu has to be keeping up with the sport. Right. And it's very important for every one of the entities that, you know what I mean, that work on it. Wagner is putting on an event coming up soon. Major League next week. It's going to be amazing. You know what I mean? But again, I believe that the community of Jiu-Jitsu has to support those events who are coming up and making Jiu-Jitsu great again.
Major League Jiu-Jitsu, September 8th here in Coral Springs, Florida. I'm going to be doing some new concepts that's going to be trying to change the game. My goal is to make jiu-jitsu professional for the next generation, not for the generation that's here now, because we're already stuck in this time. My goal is so that the future, in 20 years from now, there is a league that people can make a living off jiu-jitsu, and they don't have to be instructors, because not everybody's meant to be an instructor. And I preach this all the time. Not everybody has the characteristics to teach others.
And to be a leader.
And to be a leader, that's right. You can't just be an instructor because you're good at something. That doesn't translate. So my goal is to try to change the sport one step at a time, and I already got some really good ideas in works. And I'm going to implement some of the rules, like the things that we love about ADCC, for example, where there's half the time no points, the other half points. Shorter clock on the time on the matches. I think 5-minute matches are way more entertaining for people. And I'm incorporating the team versus team, because, for example, you see big teams go to the Worlds, for example, and they win the team award because they have quantity and not, say, quality. All right, quality they do have, of course, but they have more quantity. And quantity doesn't make you the best team in the world. That just makes you the team with the most people.
Yeah.
You know. So what I want to show the world is who has the quality, who has the best 10 guys. That they can roster on a weight class from bottom to top, and let them face each other and prove the world that they are the best team. That's the best team. Like the NBA has a team, and like the NFL has teams, and Major League Soccer, and one day turn this into a real professional sport where people can actually make a real living.
One thing that I want to talk, just like because we're talking about this stuff of Nutella, Raiz, about training hard, about the mindset. I just don't want people to get confused when we come about training hard and being like rough and all that.
There's levels to the game.
With sometimes being brutal. Okay? Like, man, everyone here is on the table, that, man, I'm someone that, for instance, that, man, every time I fight, I'm extremely respectful to all of my opponents. I'm actually friends with everyone in the community of Jiu-Jitsu. I've never disrespected no one ever, like, man, like, I'm always friends, okay? Of course, I don't like bullshit, so sometimes someone try to act up with me, like, gonna get in trouble, you know what I mean? But again, like, I know how to stand. Yeah. So the confidence of being, of you knowing how to engage to every aspect of the fight, gonna give you the confidence of, you can have a good manner, you can be really well educated, and you can be a great person, and know that no one's gonna fuck with you. Right. And I can train super hard. After the training, I'm gonna kiss you, I'm gonna give you a big hug, and that's it. That's how we train here. Man, we slap each other in the face all day long. This guy is he comes and I love it. You know why? Because, man, whenever an older person does it to me, man, I know what's up. Whenever I train hard and smash him, and I love the knee on neck and put the people, it's brutal. Man, it's fighting. It's fighting.
Submission fighting.
It's submission fighting, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, nobody said it needs to be beautiful. It needs to work. Yeah. It needs to work, and that's what it is. But again, one thing is you being technical and using techniques that sometimes they can be strong in order to submit your opponent, and there is guys who actually come to hurt you. Yeah. This is a different thing. No one of us here doing any crazy move. We're not trying to pull crazy shit out of our minds. Every one of the techniques we're talking about here and the way we're training, as much as a really hard training, as much as we train really hard, we're not going out there to hurt, to jeopardize the sport, or do anything that will actually do any harm to our opponents. We're talking about training hard, having a hard mindset, you know what I mean? Pushing to the limits every day, you know what I mean? And not being scared of anything. Right. That's the main thing. There's no such a thing as being scared, man. If you come and you bring me a move that, man, we're gonna fuck up my opponent, I'm gonna give you a hug, man. Teach me this. That's it. I want to be the nastiest submission there is. That's what I want. That's what I do. You know what I mean? And if the guy doesn't want to get hurt, you're gonna tap. You know what I mean? And then it is what it is. But don't come like with the attitude, like the weak attitude of, oh my God, it's too brutal. There's no too brutal. There's fighting. So there's no too brutal.
And that's the thing. Sorry, that's the thing now. Like, jiu-jitsu is becoming like just a sport. You know, before it used to be a fight. You know, everyone, like every high level back in the days, 2009, 99, 2000, every good jiu-jitsu player would go to MMA and do well. You know?
You don't see it anymore.
Those days, I don't. I maybe 2 or 3 guys that have
Left.
the style. Maybe
Left.
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 They can
I
go,
was saying
know?
Gilbert Burns might be the last of our generation that's actually made it into the UFC and has
And
made
did-
it
did good,
successful
yeah.
into MMA. He's, I think, the last of our generation, and he's not that young anymore. He's a guy who's already, maybe, at the borderline of the generation before. We talked about Damian Maia and Jacare. Those guys are decades before. They are successful, yes, but they were before him. So I believe that the growth of jiu-jitsu and into MMA is almost gone. It's an instinct. It's almost an instinct character. You don't see it anymore.
You don't see anymore, and that's one thing that hurts to see it, because jiu-jitsu has to be a fight, not just a sport. It has to be a fight. It has to be a self-defense. Self-defense, like, for me, it's no better way than
Jiu-jitsu created MMA.
Yeah,
Basically.
basically,
Think about it, right?
They
like
fought,
the world,
they fought against all
Jiu-jitsu was the number one sport, number one martial art in MMA at one point or not, and maybe not today. Victor was saying, today's mixed. Yeah, it's mixed martial arts. But if you separate it all together, jiu-jitsu is the identity of the best martial art in the world.
100%.
And today it's not. And I see guys that are jiu-jitsu black belts, and if they got in a fight with a strong athletic guy, they would get their ass kicked. They would literally get whooped by that guy in the street if they had to defend themselves. And that's sad. It shouldn't be like that, right? We looked at a black belt when we were white belts and we're like, damn, that guy's untouchable. Like, that guy in the street, he's the man. Nobody would ever disrespect him and get away with it. That's just, today, like, you see people in the street, people get robbed in front of others and people just stand by and watch. Or somebody gets attacked. I saw a lady getting her child removed from her arms by a man and 5 other people standing by watching. Like, I'm not going to do nothing about that. That's not my problem. Cowards. But that's just today's society. Today's society is becoming like that. And that's why it's important we talk about this, because we are representing a martial art that is unique, that is amazing, that is, mind strong, that should be a role model for the rest of the world. We are representatives of our martial art that we love, jiu-jitsu. And if we're not representing and we're not creating that respect for the rest of the world, then we're not doing our example. We're not doing our part. And when you see people, like we were saying, like complaining about me doing a submission that is totally legal and making me look bad, it makes me wonder, like, what's wrong with society? Why is this so soft? It's cool to watch a guy do a backflip, pass side into side control. That's amazing. That's the awesomest thing. No disrespect to the person who I'm talking about. It's amazing watching that. Yeah, but not everybody can do that. I can't do a backflip. Neither can any of these guys. But choking somebody, trapping them, submitting them, controlling them, and doing it effectively, it's ugly to some. And that makes no sense to me. That's what blows my mind, and I feel that's the softness of this world today.
Yeah. So, closing out, man, I want to thank all of you guys. It was amazing. We could go here for
Forever.
2 extra days, with this conversation. But again, I believe that the message to the world of jiu-jitsu is to actually, man, look inside of yourselves, and try to understand that, like Vagner said, man, jiu-jitsu is much more than just a simple martial art. You know what I mean, man? This martial art saves lives. You know what I mean? It's a great tool to actually structure human beings into being better. You know what I mean? And again, man, it's the best martial art in the world. Let us, representatives of this martial art, support the martial art to actually keep being the great martial art that once, was a foundation for MMA and all the other martial arts in the world today. You know what I mean? So, guys, amazing. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Ossa, Vitão, sempre. Guys, Jiu-Jitsu. Ossa.